Hare Krishna.
Krishna.
Welcome to the Srimad Bhagavatam class. Today is Tuesday, 19th July 2016. We'll start with our prayers. Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayamudiraye nashtaprayeshu bhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavatya uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naistiki. Om namo bhagavate vasudevaya.
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 Today we are going to discuss chapter 16 from the first canto. And we'll take one shloka, that is shloka number 6. Chapter 16, shloka number 6. Atha vyasa padambhoja makarandaliham satam kim anyera asad alapair ayusho yad asad vyayah atha vyasa padambhoja makarandaliham satam kim anyer asad alapair ayusho yad asad vyayah Kartik Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Atavasya padamboja makarandaliham satam kim anyer asad alapair ayusho yadasad vyayah
Athava otherwise asya of his pada amboja lotus feet makarandaliham of those who lick the honey from such a lotus flower. Satam of those who are to exist eternally. Kim anye. What is the use of anything else? Asat. Illusory. Alapai. Topics. Ayushah. of the duration of life.
of the duration of life.
Life.
Yat,
Yet
Yad,
that which is.
that
that which is
Asat vyayah,
asat
Satyayah,
unnecessary waste of life.
unnecessary waste of life.
Life.
Translation. The devotees of the Lord are accustomed to licking up the honey available from the lotus feet of the Lord. What is the use of topics which simply waste one's valuable life? Please repeat. The devotees of the Lord
The devotees of the Lord
Lord
are accustomed to licking up
are
are accustomed to licking up
up
the honey available
the honey available
available
from the lotus feet of the Lord.
from
from
the
the lotus feet of the Lord.
Lord.
What is the use of topics
What is the topics
which simply waste
which
Simply waste
one's valuable life?
one's valuable life.
Thank you very much. So now we'll start the discussion. So this topic, today's chapter is called How Parikshit Received the Age of Kali. So in the 15th chapter, we saw how the Pandavas left for Himalayas, and then they left their bodies one by one, completely absorbed in Krishna, focusing on Krishna, giving up all material desires, material activities, and then simply remembering, meditating, chanting, everything about Krishna. Almost every one of them had this Nirjana Bhajana. Nobody around them, and then that's how they left their bodies. And Srimad Bhagavatam confirmed that they all went to the Vaikuntha planets. It's even mentioned that they went to Goloka Vrindavan. Can I request somebody whose mic is on, so little disturbance. So now, Sutta Goswami, who is narrating, telling the sages led by Shaunaka, that Maharaj Parikshit became the king. We saw that Yudhishthir Maharaj appointed him as the king of the world. And then he's definitely a Raja Rishi, properly instructed by spiritual masters. And then he acquired all the good qualities from his ancestors, And we saw in how the astrologers told about him that how he will have the qualities of so many different exalted souls. And then he married daughter of King Uttara. Uttara was his mother, but King Uttara's daughter. And he got 4 sons. The eldest was Maharaja Janmajeya. And he was also very, very wonderful, powerful, and a devotee of the Lord. So Maharaj Parikshit, he got the guidance from Kripacharya, one of the great acharyas again. Kripacharya was the spiritual master of all the Pandavas. And then he performed 3 Ashwamedha Yagya. And then, because once you have to rule, then you need Lakshmi. And Lakshmi is collected through these. And then, the advantage is that everybody gets the advantage of this Ashwamedha Yagya. Because all the devatas come, everybody comes. So even a common man can see them. So then when he was going on a tour to conquer subdue the other kingdoms so that they start paying the taxes for the maintenance. So he saw a very low caste person, Shudra person, dressed as a king, and he is beating a cow and a bull. And then, naturally, Parikshit Maharaja was very angry. He just caught him and, decided to give him a very, very severe punishment. So at this point, Shaunaka Rishi inquires. And he says, why did Parikshit Maharaj punish him, Because he's a Shudra. He was dressed as a king, and he was just hitting the cow on the leg. So we want to know more about this. Please tell us that why it was necessary for him to punish. And then, of course, the shloka we read today, Shaunaka Rishi said that we all devotees, we are all used to drinking the honey from the lips of the spiritual master, and then, of course, honey flowing from the lotus feet of Krishna. So please tell us that, we want to hear only the topics related to Krishna. And that's why, yesterday when somebody asked that why this was not described and what Pandavas and also, one of these reasons is this, that Vyasadeva had decided to talk about the topics which are directly related to Krishna. So we saw how Pandavas focused on, so that much is only described here. All the other details of where they went and what happened and all that is not in detail. There's some glimpse of that is there, of course. So we want to know more about how the devotees deal with death and how they escape the punishment of Yamaraj. How the right-minded, the real spiritually intelligent people, they seek freedom from this cycle of birth and death. So you please tell us. So he said, they said, here, Yamaraj, the rule doesn't work with the devotees, So we recommend that everybody who wants to not see Yamaraj or his messengers, they should hear this Bhagavad Katha, this transcendental pastimes of the Lord. So this is, these are all recommendations from the sages, because they know, they have seen, they come from various backgrounds, but all of them are devotees. And in the Kaliyuga, people will be lazy. That's already declared by Bhagavatam. Less intelligent, short duration of life. And then, our famous bhajan of Bhaja Hure Man. E dinna jamini jagire. Vifale sevinu kripana durjana. E dinna jamini jagire. Whole night people are awake sometime. Now we have this 24/7 programs going on. Earlier, at least, we were sleeping for some time. And it's very common, the young people today, if somebody calls at 2 o'clock in the night, and what is this, for 2 o'clock in the night? And for them, it's like very normal time. They sometimes start their things at that time. So they wanted to know all this. Shaunaka Rishi is saying, please tell us everything. So Sutta Goswami starts speaking. So he says, then Parikshit Maharaj had just taken the control of the administration. The Kali had already started showing some signs, started infiltrating. And somebody came and told him also, Maharaj, we are seeing symptoms of Kaliyuga. He did not want to digest that, because he is such a good king. So he says, how come in my kingdom, when I'm taking care of every single jiva, how can Kali come? So he says, okay, let me go and fight this Kali. Let me find him and then punish him, or just take care of him. So he takes his bow, arrow, everything, and then starts out. So he just sits on a chariot with black horses, and like Arjuna's flag was marked by Hanumanji, Parikshit Maharaja's flag was marked by a lion. So all this, when the king goes, he doesn't go alone. All this cavalry, elephants, and so on and so forth. Everybody goes, And then he conquered almost all the world. Like here, some few names are there: Bhadrashva, Ketumala, Bharata, Kuru, Kim Purusha, etc. They're all different regions of different varshas. This whole thing was divided in nine varshas. The universe is divided in 9 varshas. Out of that, one is Bharata Varsha, and which Bharata Varsha, the explanation given in the scriptures, is like the whole planet Earth, what we have right now. But there is something beyond that. Even the Earth, this planet Earth is also not properly exploited. There are still places where human beings of this planet have not reached. There are so many unexplored places. One explanation I was hearing that, you see the Earth as a round thing, right? It's a globe. But now, and you're seeing from the top, and the explanation given was, suppose now I just bend myself and just touch I'm not able to do that, but just imagine that if I touch my head to my knees, so from the other side, when you're looking at me, you will see that my head and knee is covering the inside part, like all this stomach, everything. That person cannot see. He can only see head and the knee, and he thinks that this is plain. But there is inside so many places which are still a mystery to the scientists. So anyway, Parikshit Maharaj was, wherever he was going, he was well received, And we know that his birth was also when Krishna saved him in the womb, right? From Ashwatthama's weapon. So this way, along with him were all these people who were glorifying Krishna always, singers and dancers. And so it's a very nice group of people going around. And then he remembered how Krishna, being the Supreme Lord, he accepted so many services of Pandavas, He became there, of course, we know all those things, Parthasarathi, he was a friend, he was a messenger, he was a night watchman. Krishna did so many things to help the Pandavas. He just behaved sometimes like their servant. And, he was respecting Yudhishthira and all like his elder brother and so on. So Maharaj Parikshit, and these stories were told by people, wherever he was going, people are telling him about Krishna. So he became overwhelmed by hearing this. And he became even a greater devotee. He decided to dedicate his life for Krishna. So he was just absorbed in those thoughts. Susuta Goswami says, at that time, something happened. And what was that? He says, Dharma, the personality of religious principles, Dharma is religious principles. It's also a person, head of that. So he was wandering about on the planet Earth, and he had taken a form of a bull. And he met Bhumi Devi, who came as a cow, and she was looking very sad, as if she has lost her child, tears in her eyes. So Dharma started talking to her. He wanted to know why this is happening. So like, Yudhishthir Maharaj was asking Arjuna, and then even before Arjuna speaks, Yudhishthir Maharaj himself was saying, is it because of this? Is it because of this? Like he gave the big list. The same way now Dharma is asking Bhumi Devi in the form of a cow. And he is the one who is, talking. He just says, it appears that you are suffering. You see, look at you, your face has become black. Are you suffering from some internal disease? Or are you thinking of some relative? Then he says, see, look at me, I'm standing only on one leg. My 3 legs have been lost. So because I'm like this, are you repenting my situation? Or are you in anxiety because all these meat eaters will exploit you? Or you are worried that all the devatas, they are not getting their shares because people have stopped the yajna? There is no more offering in the yajna? Or you are so kind and so merciful and so compassionate that you are grieving because all these people are suffering, because there are somewhere some famine is there, somewhere some drought is there, Is it because of that? Or are you feeling sad for the women and children who have been left alone by their husband and father? Or you are worried because Saraswati, the goddess of learning, she is being handled by Brahmanas who are not even qualified, and they are all acting against the religion. Or you are worried about the Brahmanas, they are no more performing their Brahmanical duties, but they are trying to live on the money given by the Kshatriyas, or the administrative class. So like that, you keep on asking. And he said, anyway, everybody is getting now bewildered a little because Kali is coming. Kali looks to be there now. Everything is becoming in orderly, no orderly fashion. So are you lamenting this disorder in the world because people are not following any regulations in sleeping, eating, mating, So he like this, he keeps on asking. It's still not over. And then he reminds her, the Lord came as in his original form as Krishna just to lighten your burden, See, we know why Krishna came, because the Bhumi with the Brahmaji and everybody went, and then they prayed, and then Lord Vishnu says, okay, I will come. You all take birth in different places and, get ready for my coming. So maybe you are thinking of all those things, and so it's all, good speculation. Because all the speculations are there, although it is speculation, but it is in the right direction because he's thinking all positive things, So please tell me what's going on, why you are looking so weak. And then he talks about the influence of Kala, time. Time heals, time hurts, time destroys, and time heals also. So, like this is asking, and then Mother Earth, the cow, in the form of cow, she starts replying. And she says, whatever you ask me, you already know. I will try to answer your questions. Look at yourself, she says. You were also on 4 legs. And now everything was going fine when you were on 4 legs. And when was that? That was in Satya Yuga. What are the 4 legs? Truthfulness, cleanliness, austerity, compassion. These were the 4 legs. And then he says, in Krishna, there are, she talks of 40 qualities of Krishna. Now, those who have been attending reading Nectar of Devotion, we have discussed 64 qualities of Krishna. Krishna being the only one having 64 qualities. And then, of course, now further, for the time being, we have stopped that. But in Nectar of Devotion, we are doing, devotees have found out 146 shlokas from Bhagavatam, which describe Krishna's qualities more, particularly Krishna's 146 shlokas, chosen ones. So she says the whole reason for my sadness is exactly the same as that was of Arjuna. As long as Krishna was on this planet was, with all its problems, it was still the best planet, because Krishna's footprints were on my body, and that kept things going. But now that the footprints are missing, I'm really, really disturbed. I don't know what to do. I don't know how I'm going to continue with my duties. So she says, I was expecting that Krishna has inaugurated Varnashram, but it will be taken further, but it's missing. People are not following that. And then she talks about Lakshmi ji, goddess of fortune. She says, whose glance of grace was sought by Brahma, and for whom they surrendered many a day into the personality of Godhead. She gave up her own abode in the forest of lotus flowers and engaged in the service of lotus feet of the Lord. So all these things were there when Krishna was there. Radha Rani, Adi Lakshmi, was always serving Krishna. And that's with so many of her friends. And that Lord of me and Lord of everybody's heart, he has left us. So she says, I was actually, you said it, but I'm just repeating that I was burdened by all these bad elements. And then Krishna came and he killed so many demons. Okay. And then everything he did by his own energy. And then even he took care of the Yadus. There are so many of them. And now even they are gone. So this is all the pangs of separation from Krishna. And then still as she's talking about Krishna taking away Satyabhama, And then he says, when he was walking on me, I was so happy, I was so pleased, because his lotus feet was giving me so much pleasure, so much coolness, And then wherever he was walking, that place became full of green, soft green grass. So like that, a devotee in separation also gets, of course, some pang of separation, but then ultimately the devotee knows that Krishna's mission here is over. And then Krishna has gone. Krishna, where did Krishna go? He never leaves Goloka Vrindavan, right? But at the same time, he is everywhere. As I'm talking to you, he is having his pastime somewhere on some planet. So this way, Parikshit Maharaj reached the banks of Saraswati river, And then next chapter we'll see how he decides to punish the Shudra, who is none other than Kali himself, Kali Purusha. So I'll stop here. Thank you very much. If you have any questions, comments, please go ahead. Hare Krishna. Yes, please. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Prabhuji, I have a question from yesterday's class.
Yes.
As you told, Subhadra also goes with Pandavas, right?
Right.
But Subhadra is like Yogmaya, right?
Yeah,
she's-
but now she's Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. He also goes, right? He doesn't go with them, but he also leaves his body.
Mhm.
So like that, Subhadra now she is a wife of Arjuna. So she has to go with her husband.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Prabhuji, like, what was her childhood pastimes? We have any or any references?
Yeah.
Because we...
Yeah, there are not many. Because see, what happens whenever Krishna is present, then the focus is Krishna in all narrations, especially Bhagavatam. The entire Bhagavatam is for glorifying Krishna, right? We know the purpose.
Yes.
Maybe in some other Puranas, I'm not aware of, Some other Puranas may have, because there are some Puranas and there are some Upa-Puranas. And then there are some Akhyanas of those Puranas. Like, for instance, the story of Srinivasa, Balaji, Venkatramana, is there in Padma Puranas, one Upakhyana, That's where we see the story of advent of Srinivasa. It's not in the main 18 Puranas. But now, look at his glory, like everybody in the world knows him now. Yeah, so I'm not very much aware about, except that, whatever pastimes that took place after, during and after Arjuna's, taking her away and things like that. And then, of course, the Jagannath, Baldev, Subhadra, those pastimes we know.
Okay, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Anybody else?
Prabhuji,
Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
Yes.
So, just one clarification actually regarding, so what do you mean by Upapuranas? Upapuranas are like, chapters within
Supplementary Puranas, because there's one Purana,
Yeah.
and then based on that Purana, somebody, has one extra story. So it's a supplement. Like the Puranas themselves are supplements of the Vedas, right?
Yeah.
So similarly, there is something missing in the Purana, and then some Rishi remembers, that, okay, this is what because they're all Smritis, right? So he has one more narration, so which is not included in a Purana. So it becomes a Upa Purana.
Oh, okay.
That's why-
So
that's why-
each and every Purana has some Upapuranas.
Not necessarily. Some have more, some have less, some have nothing like that. See, depending on who are the rishis involved in those Puranas. See, simple thing. You go to India,
Okay.
and if you go to different regions, you will sometimes hear the same story with a totally different context, because they have heard it from somebody who has read those Puranas. There's so many supplementaries are there. Yeah.
Okay.
This
Okay,
Vedic
Prabhu.
literature is vast. It's not like, just 4 Vedas and, that's all we talk about. But there are so many things. So many more things are revealed when, in the Upanishads, for example. There are stories in Upanishads which are not there in some Puranas also. Although Upanishad is just discussing one topic.
Okay, Prabhu. Yeah.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Get you the darshan of the Lordships.
Radhe Krishna.
Radha Sham Sundar ki jai.
Jai.
Ladu Gopal ki jai.
Jai.
Gaurnitai ki jai.
Jai.
Lakshmi Narsimha ki jai.
Jai.
Lakshmi Venkatramana ki jai.
Jai.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Hare Krishna.
फिर प्रेस सुबुद्धि कृष्ण प्रभु की जय।
Hari Bo. Why you want to punish me?